This is according to Spotrac, so that's the number I'm going with.
Wait, is it Spotrax?
Spotrac.
That's what I mean. I always thought it was
Spot track?
Spot Rack.
Oddball. Amin Hassan, Charlotte Wilder. We're back. It's Friday. You ain't got no job, and you ain't got to do. Hey, Charlotte, we got a great job. We got a great show for them because they don't have a job and they don't have to do. They need something to watch, right? But they're gonna watch Oddball. Yeah. They're gonna watch you and me. Maybe perhaps pump up some spirits in a segment we like to call
Hype Me Up.
There it is. But Charlotte, I want to lead off with a conversation about the Los Angeles Lakers. And no, I don't mean about LeBron. No, I don't mean about Anthony Davis. I'm not talking about any of those guys. I'm not talking about Darvin Ham. I'm talking about two Lakers. One, you might say, represents the future, and one represents a past. Talking about Austin Reaves and D'Angelo Russell, respectively. And I want to start in the past, Charlotte.
Yes.
Because D'Angelo Russell was part of something they called the Baby Lakers, right? It was him, it was Julius Randle, it was Brandon Ingram, it was Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Kyle Kuzma. These were the guys, the fruits of the Lakers front office labor of, hey, after they realized that, look, no one's coming to play with Kobe. That dream of like, we're just going to get a star in here, that wasn't happening. They actually had to do real front office work of talent identification and player development and all that stuff. So the very beginnings of this was, well, Julius Randle was the first one who was drafted, but he got hurt very quickly into his rookie year, I think a few minutes into his rookie year. So him and D'Angelo Russell essentially were rookies in the same year. And we all know how D'Angelo Russell's story ended the first time with the Lakers, with the leaking of, what was it, a Snapchat? Featuring Nick.
Yeah, this is one of the, I mean, first of all, that feels like a million years ago. The Baby Lakers feels literally like it was 20 years ago, and it was not. It was not even 10. Mm-hmm. Was it 10? Was it 20?
No.
14, 15?
The timeline's,
Yeah, anyway, yeah, but we don't know. But one of my first jobs in sports was blogging for USA Today, and I had to blog the D'Angelo Russell, Nick Young, Iggy Azalea saga, nice. Where D'Angelo Russell leaked something about Nick Young cheating on Iggy Azalea, and then Nick Young threw his phone. And so it is actually one of the NBA stories that is nearest and dearest to my heart. And that means actually nothing in today's NBA, I mean.
Well, I mean, it does in the idea that it changed D'Angelo Russell's reputation forever, right?
True.
He went from, oh, this kid out of Ohio State is pretty exciting, let's see what happens, to persona non grata, particularly in LA, of, a very fiercely passionate market. And he eventually gets shipped out and he bounces around the league and he, now he's back, and he was really part of that resurgence that the Lakers had after January when it looked like they were dead in the water, and they, fought and got their way eventually to the playoffs and eventually to the conference finals. And he's not what he was expected to be a decade ago, or 8 years ago, or whatever it was, but he was a pretty solid contributor, and obviously he's been an all-star in the league in Brooklyn for that 1 year. So it is a weird roundabout story, especially when you consider those guys were babies, man, like barely 19, 20 years old in the league, playing in LA, being overwhelmed by playing with Kobe Bryant, being overwhelmed by the bright lights of Los Angeles and playing for a marquee franchise when the team itself isn't that good. And I think D'Angelo Russell had this growing up moment, if you will, right? Where it's like, it's not fun and games. It's not your little homies at an AAU tournament. Like, oh, I put your stuff online. Like, no, this is real. This is big business. And Nick Young might be a goofball. It might be like a guy who plays around a lot, but also Nick Young, at the time, established NBA player, but also dating a fairly big pop star. So this isn't like, oh, Janine got mad at you, ha ha. This is like front page news on TMZ
Right.
and all the tabloids. So I think that was kind of a, oh crap, welcome to celebrity moment for him. I remember I saw him at Summer League as a rookie, and he was awful, by the way. But during that year at Summer League, J. Cole had a concert in Vegas. And I think it was a For Your Eyes Only tour. And so after the show, we're in the green room, and it's D'Angelo Russell, it's Devin Booker, and I believe Karl Anthony Towns. They come in, and this is them meeting Cole for the first time, I believe. And, you know, Cole's a huge basketball guy, so he's like, oh, I love your game, and congratulations on getting drafted, because all those guys had just gotten drafted. And I remember D'Angelo Russell asking, hey, when the tour comes to L.A., do you think you can get me some tickets? Very sheepishly, very innocently. And I remember, like, looking at my cousin Eve, and I'm laughing. I'm like, yo, you're the number 2 or number 3 overall pick of the Los Angeles Lakers. Buddy, they're going to give you a whole suite. Like, the team's going to take, you don't need to ask, like humbly, like, although it's nice to see that. It's nice to see a very, like, humble request for, if you could find it in your heart or whatever. But, like, the innocence, the naivete of, again, a top 3 pick for the Los Angeles Lakers, thinking that he needs a hookup to get tickets to a show. Buddy, the world is your oyster. And so I often think about that when talking about him and Nick Young and that whole thing. And it's like, a lot of that is just someone who is, I won't even call it sheltered, because I don't think it's normal to be exposed to celebrity and all this stuff. I think it's just, he was a normal kid thrust into a very, very high-profile situation.
Yeah, that story to me shows that he didn't understand the level at which people operate. And LA, of all places, I mean, you see it with young actors too. They get tossed into this tabloid culture, and all of a sudden, and it happens so quickly. It happens so quickly. All of a sudden, you are the guy for the Lakers. And there's a pressure on it that I think it takes, especially if you're 19 or 20. Are you kidding me? It takes a while for your brain to catch up to the reality. And also, I think there could be something, and I'm not saying this is necessarily what was going on with D'Angelo Russell, but this feeling where you're like, well, I don't want to act different. I don't want to act like I'm like big time now.
Nothing's
but
changed.
you are, and you
same
have to act
OD,
different.
right?
Yeah, and you're not. What do you think Russell's career since then? Are you surprised at the trajectory?
No, I mean, not really. I think he carried that stigma around with him a lot longer than he should have. And that wasn't fair to him. He made a mistake, and he owned up to it, and people just held that against him. And there's other things, because, you know, it's not always external factors. Sometimes guys are just players that don't develop or pan out. Again, he's been an all-star, and he's gotten a max deal. I would say his career went great by his standards. I don't think he's sitting around thinking, like, what has my life become? He made a lot of money in this league and got to be celebrated as one of the best players one year. And now he's, you know, playing, almost like redeeming himself in Los Angeles. Not that he needed redemption, but redeeming himself, playing for the team that drafted him and then he ultimately didn't pan out for. So that's the past. I want to talk about the future, namely Austin Reaves. And Austin Reaves, we know his story. He was a two-way player. He played really well his rookie year. He got upgraded to a full-time minimum contract, was a restricted free agent last summer, and the Lakers rewarded him with what many people, myself included, thought was a very modest 4 years, roughly $54 million deal, right? Story comes out that the Spurs were one of the teams that was seriously considering putting in an offer. But they decided not to because the Lakers publicly made such a big deal about, hey, we're going to match every offer. Now, here's the wild part, Charlotte. The two different offers the Spurs were mulling over. 3 years, $60 million, or 4 years, $100 million. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm Austin Reaves, I'm like, why didn't you just put it in? Like, just give it a try.
I know.
It's only 48 hours. What'd you miss out on? What would you have missed out on? Like, are you kidding me? He's making basically $12 million in Los Angeles, California, one of the highest tax cities and one of the highest tax states in the nation, versus 0% state income tax Texas, $20 million a year, or even perhaps $25 million a year. This would devastate, and I get it. The Lakers are a good team. The Spurs aren't, right? But, dude, we just got done talking about D'Angelo Russell. Like, how do you think his life went? I was like, his life went pretty great considering he got a max deal. How devastated would you feel to hear that news and say, what? I could have been making double what I'm making right now.
I know. I don't know. When I saw those numbers, I was like, buddy. And I guess my question, or not question, but the trick for him then becomes not being resentful. Like, it becomes still playing well, because, like, obviously he's going to try hard. He's a very competitive guy. Like, I'm not saying he's like, oh, I could have had 20 million more. But if there's that thing in the back of your head, maybe that then becomes like, well, I'm going to show everybody how much better I am than my contract. So I don't know. It sort of makes you feel, I can imagine he must have felt a little sick to his stomach on seeing those.
Dude, I'm just saying, like, and he does have a player option on that fourth year. So if he continues to play up to this standard and continues to grow, he'll opt out and get way more money. But the reality is, like, sounds nuts, but $12.5 million essentially is, or 12 and some change. That's a lot closer to average salary in the NBA than it is like a great deal. And so there's nothing he can do about it. He's under contract. And it wouldn't be the first time. I know, like, think about Isaiah Thomas, who signed a 3-year, $21 million deal when he went to the Suns, when he left Sacramento after making minimum. And he was worth more than that, and he outplayed that contract. Think about Caleb Martin down in Miami. He was like Austin Reaves, was a two-way guy, then a minimum guy. Then he got his payday, and again, a very modest one. There has to be a part where you're just like, standing there with your arms crossed, like, I can't believe this bullshit. Like, there has to be, man. There's no way you can go into a contract. You're blessed, and you're like, thank God I have this money. I can take care of my family. He's from Arkansas, so I'm sure that money goes a long way back home for him. He's playing, again, with one of the greatest players of all time. Think about the number of guys who walk around with a zillion Kobe stories, or a zillion Michael Jordan stories, a zillion Magic Johnson stories, just by virtue of they were there. Right? Austin Reaves gets to say, I was there and I was a contributing part. LeBron clearly takes a liking after him. I think playing alongside LeBron has made him better. I've interviewed him a bunch of times about how, I don't know if you've ever seen this clip, Charlotte, of LeBron instructing Austin Reaves, and like LeBron's talking in his ear, and the look on his face is just like, wait, what? Like, he's completely, and when I asked him about it, he was like, honestly, that happens like 5 times a game. That just happened to be the one they caught on camera. But he said it happens all the time because, like, this guy sees the game in such a way that you're almost like, wait, what? But in time, you see how it helped his game grow leaps and bounds. And again, he was a big part of why the Lakers were able to pull themselves out of the muck and make this deep playoff run, was the play of Austin Reaves. And now he's in the World Cup team, and he's going to be competing for Team USA. Like, this is a fairy tale come true, and yet, Charlotte, he could have been making $25 million a year, literally double what he's making right now.
I know, and if you're Austin Reaves, you're sitting there thinking, I mean, LeBron has even praised my basketball IQ. Like, that's the nicest thing. And he, like, of all the people to say that, are you kidding me?
It's a great commercial.
I also think it's funny, D'Angelo Russell actually said that he thought Austin Reaves didn't get as large a contract because he's white.
Oh, that's not why.
I know, and I'm like, I don't think that's it. And then Reaves said, he was like, well, I don't look like I should be good at basketball. And it's like, when has America not absolutely fallen in love with like a white American basketball
white
player?
Savior,
like
the great white hope. Yeah. No, the reality is this is more an economic conversation about restricted free agency. And this is why players hate it. Because here's a guy that the market would have deemed worth a lot more, but because of the specter of the right of first refusal, the market never even bothered. Not because he wasn't worth it, but because they thought, why tie our money up and then for it to be matched by this team. Also, when you put in an offer sheet for a guy and it gets matched, you're not allowed to trade for him for a year after that. So it's like maybe the Spurs thought, hey, maybe as this Lakers things go sideways, we can acquire him down the line at this discounted rate rather than be aggressive and pay for him now. Because obviously the Spurs, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. They're still in the early stages of the Victor Wembanyama stuff. Now, restricted free agency is weird, though, because on the other hand, I understand. It's like, I'm the Lakers. I plucked this guy from obscurity. I recognize his talent. I developed him. We did all the work for someone else to say, all right, we'll take that and thank you very much. There's got to be some mechanism there where we are rewarded for taking a chance on guys that are, the road less traveled rather than a guy you just drafted or whatever. So, yeah, that's the Lakers. That's all the Laker talk. Sorry, no LeBron talk, or very little. I guess no Anthony Davis talk, no Rob Pelinka talk, no winning time talk today. When we come back, you said LeBron complimented Austin Reaves. Is that what you said, Charlotte?
He said I said he praised his basketball IQ, but I feel like you're about to make a dig at how I can't count.
No. We're not doing word count.
Oh.
The transition I was going to do was, one might say that LeBron hyped Austin Reaves up. That's called a pro, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you do it.
This is how broken I am already. I'm like,
I can't count. We get it. Like, the word count is on Wednesdays. What are you doing?
I don't know what day it is. It's a multiverse.
That's true. I get it. The world isn't on your side. Naysayers, Twitter, Instagram, X, whatever it's called, Threads, everywhere you look. They hate me. They think I suck. They think I'm no good. And you let it get to you. But guess what? We're here to reverse that process with a little segment called
Hype Me Up.
There it is. Right. We read a name, a statement, a hypothetical, and the other one, put some spirits up. Pick it up. Charlotte, start with Steph Curry. You have to hype up Steph Curry.
Steph, you have everything that anybody who plays in the NBA could ever want, except maybe 2 more championships to have as many as Michael Jordan. You've got a great family. You've got a team that you've been with forever. You've got Draymond Green in your locker room calling you the GOAT on Instagram. Now you have Chris Paul, which, well, we'll see how that goes. But I think, you know what, my dude, you are truly golden.
Oh, I see what you did there because he plays for the... Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Hey, what I want out of Steph Curry, hey, how about you hype him up to give us a documentary that doesn't stink? How about that?
Oh, yeah. Also, maybe you tell us that your dad played for the NBA when you're doing a documentary about playing basketball.
It seems very relevant information.
Amin, here's your name. Joel Embiid.
Oh, Jojo Rabbit. Yo, Joel. I know it looks crazy, but trust me on this one. Everything's going to be fine because this time next year, you're going to be down here in Miami with me, baby. I'm talking sandy beaches. I'm talking about tropical weather. Say goodbye to winters. And I know your dad still thinks you should have been an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer. No, my dad still thinks that too. Bring him down here to Miami. It'll change his tune real quick. He'll be like, you know what? Maybe you did make the right decision playing this basketball game. And guess what? Look at the banners. Look at the Hall of Famers in the rafters. You're going to be one of them. But like eating one of those fruit on the bottom, You'll Play yogurts or Dannon yogurts, you got to get through the yucky, gross, plain yogurt part to get to the treasure at the bottom. And that yucky, gross part is being a Philadelphia 76er for as long as this Daryl Morey, James Harden thing continues to happen.
I have a lot of... Wait, do you not stir the yogurt together? You eat the plain part to get to the bottom?
I'm going to say a name that I've never said on air, and I don't even know if this guy follows sports anymore or whatever. I went to high school with this kid named Caleb, and Caleb would eat his yogurt like that. He'd eat the white part and then get to the fruit at the bottom and eat it. And I said, why do you eat it like that, Caleb? And he would say, because like you get through some tough times for the treasure at the bottom. And that's stuck with me. I haven't thought about this kid in like 25 years. I don't even know I don't know if he's alive even, but if he is, Caleb, I never forgot that. I never forgot it, buddy.
Okay. He has the point.
We used to play pickup ball together. Charlotte.
Yes.
PJ Tucker remains supportive of James Harden amid the drama. That's your statement.
PJ, I think you're doing the right thing because this all began when you and James Harden didn't go to Joel Embiid's wedding and instead ate burgers with Bun B. And you made your bed at that point. And you know what? I'm really proud of you for just lying in it, for being like, James Harden is my dude, much like you are my dude, because who wants to be on the side of anybody wearing a suit? You know, like stick with your guy. Maybe they'll let you. Oh, wait, no, they're not going to let Harden go to.
I thought, by the way, I thought Morey was the one that was lying in it.
Oh.
Yeah. Quick-witted Amino Hassan strikes again.
I can't even. I'm done now. PJ, you're great. Okay, Amin, are you ready?
You're golden. Oh wait, that's the wrong team.
You're blue. He is blue. They're all blue.
Amin.
Giannis Antetokounmpo skips FIBA to rest knee.
Yeah, that's real. And by the way, it's not just him. Jamal Murray also not going to be playing in the World Cup for Team Canada because he's got some health issues. And guess what, guys? Both of you. Even Jamal Murray wasn't even mentioned. I'm going to mention him. You needed the rest. Let's be honest. Why are you killing yourself? Uphill battle after uphill battle. Let them worry about it. You need to focus on you. That NBA season is right around the corner. We've got that tournament. You can win $500,000 in cash for yourself and $500,000 for each one of your teammates. Man, this is the time we got to enjoy life for a little bit because before you know it, we're going to be reporting to camp and then you got to do all that stuff in 2 days and you got to deal with coach and you got a new coach too, Giannis. You don't want to deal with all that, man. Chill out, relax. Have a drink. All right, Charlotte, your hypothetical, Vegas gets an expansion team before Seattle. You got to hype Vegas and you got to comfort Seattle. So Vegas gets an expansion team before Seattle. This is hypothetical. It's in real.
Hypothetical.
All right, you got to hype Vegas, comfort Seattle.
Vegas. Sin City, the city where sports were not allowed, and now they are taking the world by storm. Well, you were made for this. You have proven with the Golden Knights that you are ready for a team that the city is just going to get behind, even if it's never been there before. With the Raiders, you took them from somewhere else, and you've made them your own. T-Mobile Arena needs more basketball, and you are finally getting it. And what are we going to call the team? We're going to call it the Vegas Sins, and you heard it here first. Seattle. This one's tough. Seattle, you are only. It's only going to be sweeter when you finally get the Sonics back, and this way, Vegas gets to. Oh gosh, I don't know if I can do this.
Seattle, you don't need it. Don't worry about it. Your weather's great. And ticket sales, I'm sorry, I forgot I had to do something at 1 o'clock, so I just got hit right now.
Okay, Amin, are you ready? Here is your hypothetical. Zion Williamson to the ... Knicks? Amin? Did he just leave? Okay. All right. Well, I will take this. Zion, who, when you could live in New York, why live anywhere else? New York is a city where you are finally going to stop being hurt. You're going to stop having women tweeting about you, which you should really already be working on. New York is a city that never sleeps. New York is a city where dreams come true. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And Zion, this is going to be the place where you finally prove that you can be one of the greatest of all time, because you can. And you just stay healthy and go to some Jewish delis and you're going to grow big and strong and very fit. Thanks for watching another episode of Hype Me Up. Segment. God damn it.
That's all the oddball we have for today.
Thank you
Get
for
this
watching
guy out the
Oddball.
hell out of my shot. How are you this bad at this?